way your house is the way your heart is. If you got a very clean house, you're going to probably have a pretty good heart. If your house always trashy, junky, can't never quite come together, that's how your heart is. So when you want to be like God, it's hard to because you got too much clutter in there. And you can't connect this thing together. You try, but you still sweeping stuff up under the rug. You just pouring stuff in the closet and you ain't doing the cleaning. That's just how your heart is. You can't fight Goliath like that. First Samuel chapter 17. Verses 32 through 40. I want to skip down today. We're moving on in this series. Verse 32 through 40. Amen. All of the house is to stand. Can you stand with me for the reading of the word? Just stand while you're at work. Give God some reverence too. We're using the church as a place to come and rest. I come to work at church so I know what to expect in the outcome. Amen. That's why I dress like that. I'm coming to work, baby. I'm putting work in. I've never had anything in my life that was worthwhile that I didn't have to work for. I have to work for everything in my life. Everything from my wife to my children to my job to my career being up here today. Everything costs me something. But the value that came from it, Mother Hannah, was unbelievable. Here we go right here. Look at what the Bible says. 32. Amen. David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Wait a minute. What? A kid telling the king that? Saul replied, "You are not able to go out against the Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man." You need to tell people to stop counting you out because of your age or because of your situation. Tell people, you don't know me like that. Tell a neighbor, you don't know me like that. You don't know what I'm capable of doing. You let people put names on me. Yeah, he said, "You're a young man." Now, and he has been a warrior. He tells him that you're only a young man, and he has been what? A warrior from his youth. Now, how can Goliath be a warrior from his youth, and then you tell me I'm only a young man? That's contradictory. Well, what I want to know is, you look at people and say, if God can allow them to do it, then God will allow me to do it. If they can do it, then I can do it. Because the Bible says he gave each man with the same measure of what? Come on, Bible reader. Faith. So we got the same measure of faith. That means I can do exactly what you do. The problem comes in this. Who chooses to use it? Quit whining because somebody else moving up and you got jet lag and you lagging behind. You just chose not to use your faith. Now look what he says right here. He said, 34 says, "But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion and bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it." Jesus. Then he said, not only did he go at it, he struck it and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it and killed it. That young boy had some power with it. Yeah. He comes back and says, "This uncircumcised Philistine would be like one of them." Woo. He gave him a name. "Because he has defied the armies of the living God. Now the Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine."
Hallelujah.
Now watch what Saul says here. Saul says to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." Saul has made up in his mind that I'm going to let the young boy do what I should. Come on, man. The problem with some of you, you're fighting too many people battles and not tending to your business. You fight too many other people battles. And now you're trying to tell everybody else what they need to do, how they need to do it, when they need to do it, and where they need to do it, and then you're missing out on your purpose. He comes right back and says, but now I like Saul, because Saul ain't one to placate. Saul goes immediately, next verse says what? Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword over the tunic and tried walking around because he was not used to them. Now watch what David says here. He said, I cannot go in these, he said to Saul, because I am not used to them. We're going to get to this in a minute. I'm not used to them. So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones, from the stream, yes, and put them in a pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, he approached the Philistine. Somebody say it was on from here. It was on from here. Goliath must fall. We're continuing with that. Your comfort zone is what we'll be concentrating on today. Father, we thank you this morning that your spirit continue to fall fresh in this place. Have your way, God. Move, God, in a miraculous way, God. I pray that this word encourage somebody. I pray that somebody, Lord, that everybody leaves this church differently from the way in which they came. I speak right now. High expectations in this place. I pray today for all those who've been hoodwinked by the ways of the world, God. Let them draw clarity from this word and come home to roots, God. I thank you right now for all those things which be not as though they were, God. I speak against old wineskin as I celebrate new wineskin, God. I thank you this morning, Father, for the great work you're doing in us, God. We thank you and we give you glory, honor, and praise for always being unmovable and infallible in your Son, Jesus' sweet name we pray. Now, those believers in the Lord, put your hands together and say amen. Amen. You can have your seat. Stand or run around and whatever you want to do this morning. Goliath must fall. I want to talk today. I want to talk this morning about something that's unfamiliar when we talk about Goliaths. We think about Goliaths as being student loans, our ex-husbands, amen, children who just refuse to do right. I want to talk about something that's unseen that hinders our purpose. I want to talk about something this morning called your comfort zone. We won't label comfort zone as a Goliath, but I pray today that as word, the God that's in me allows me to dissect this word, that we will see how our comfort zones have been hindering us. We'll see that how could something who don't speak to me causes me to miss my blessing. Wow. These opportunities that the children of Israel had were hindered by lack of their ability to move forward. They had become comfortable. Why did Saul, who was king of Israel, why was it that on so many occasions he had led his troops into battle? Why did Saul not ever step up to fight? Have you ever asked yourself the question? Now, this is one of the probably 5 most read stories in the Bible. We understand what David did, but I want to talk about the leader. Why was it that Saul never stepped out front and fought? They say he was a fighter. They say Saul was a great fighter, but when it came time to fight somebody that might have been a little bigger than Saul, Saul was nowhere to be found, just like y'all in the church. You talk good while things are great, and we can tell how your situation is by how your dialogue changes. The bigger your giant, the quieter you become. The bigger your giant, the more you don't come to church. The bigger your giant, the more you don't pay your tithes. The bigger your giant, the less things go well in your house because your giant has started to run you. But Saul had a great resume when it came to fighting. He had led the children of Israel in the many battles and won. But yet, There's one out there who's bigger, who's talking back, that he don't want to fight. Why is that? Why we always look for the easy way out, but we expect the best? We minimize our effort to fight and maximize our belief in how we shall receive. Why is it that way? See, Paul wasn't a wimp. I mean, don't get me wrong, Saul wasn't a wimp now. He was a proven warrior. Now, he went through a lot of battles. He had to have the best gear because the first thing he gave David, he offered David was his gear. Now, what makes somebody who's great in battle give up their gear? He had to have the best gear, but he was so scared he didn't want to fight this giant that he said, David, you can have my gear. Now, he had just told David that David, you're young. And Goliath been fighting since he was young, and now he's older, and that defines him as a warrior. And I'm looking like, well, how contradictory? How contradictory is it that David, because he was young, he can't fight somebody else who started the same way he did? In other words, why I can't look at somebody else that came from poverty and say, if they made it, I can make it. Somebody who was older and went back to school and say, if they went back, I can go back. Somebody that used to be out there with who credit jacked up, now they're starting to get cars and houses and live. You can say, if they did it, I can do it. David looked at him like, man, you don't know who you're talking to. You need to stop labeling people by how they look. We have so much negativism in us because of how people approach, how they look is. Oh, no, that person, oh, she got on blue jeans, she ain't saved. She ain't doing nothing. She got that cheap weave on. She ain't got no Holy Ghost in her. David said, no, if you can do it for them, not only can you do it for me, but you've already done it for me. It's amazing when you had some experiences with God in battle. It's amazing how your confidence level increases. When you've been through a battle with God and you know that nobody could have brought you out of this battle but God, it changes your whole dialogue. It changes your whole persona. It changes your whole mindset. You can start going around and really say, won't he do it? Yeah. People say it too cliche-ish now because they ain't went through nothing. But they know all the cliches. Won't he do it? If he bring you to it, he'll bring you through it. And say, but I ain't seen no growth in you. Who is your Goliath? What's causing you or hindering your growth in God? It's amazing. He offers David his armor, which is telling about both of them. Saul gives up his best to a kid who's from Bethlehem, from a place that's poor, that's not accustomed to what he's trying to force feed him. I like David because David stayed true to who he was. David stayed true to being David. He said, I can't wear this armor. It doesn't fit me. Some of y'all want to be in the crowd so bad, you'll go out and eat whatever they eat. You don't like it. Try to go and hang wherever they hanging just to be in the crowd. Instead of looking up when they say, make a suggestion on something, you say, oh, that's not for me. No, I can't. But girl, he got a brother that's nice, honey. You want to meet him? No, that's not for me. And the first thing they holler out about guys when you start dating, he has a good job. But a good job don't speak to a man's character. He can have a great job and still be physically abusive or verbally abusive. It don't matter about the job. Glad he works. That's one of the prereqs. Check. But what Goliaths are he hiding? What Goliaths are he fighting with? Show me, God, so I know if I'm strong enough to do battle with him. David says, I can't wear that. That doesn't me. I know it's King's gear, but that doesn't fit me. I've seen guys wear other people's shoes because they was name brand. They couldn't afford them, but they were 3 sizes too big and they still walking in them. Flopping all around them, tearing up their ankles because they want to be fresh, but that doesn't fit you. So the first thing it does is hinder your ability to walk. And David said, if I'm going to fight, man, I'm going to go with what got me here. He said, if I'm going to fight, I'm going to go with what got me here. I'm not going to go out here and try to do things out the norm. I'm not going to do things outside of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it was God got me here, it's God's who's going to keep me here. Amen. But when we start coming up, when we start getting it going and financially we start saving, got about $50 in the bank now, people can't tell you nothing. They can't tell you anything now because I got $50 in the bank. So it changes everything about you. One of the things that change when a person starts to increase is their mindset. They're not as effective because they lose the work ethic. I like David, man, because David never lost the work ethic. He kept the same work ethic as it declared in the Bible when the lion had the lamb in his mouth. Most people would have gave up because they're afraid of lions. He didn't see the lion, he saw his sheep. When you're fighting Goliath, you can't look at the monster, you got to look at your purpose. I don't care how big it is, I don't care how many tests I got to take, I don't care how many applications I got to fill out, I don't care how much my back in the wall, I'm driven by my purpose. So I know I won't be at where I am long. I'm looking for my next giant because God is increasing me. Your giant beats you because during your time of trying to execute this battle, you talk yourself into a loss. We talk ourselves into a loss. We never get to this because we can't even put on the equipment. We talk ourselves, I just can't, I'm so tired and I need rest. You'll rest when you die. When you watch people who are really successful, they don't sleep much because they're driven by something different. You watch people who truly love the Lord, they read their Bible, you don't have to remind them because they're driven by something different. When you got to always remind people, you read your word, or when you're talking to somebody and they can't help you with the scripture, now you ain't reading your word. You're not reading, so what are you doing? You're just having perfect attendance in church with no power. So I have perfect attendance, but I have no power. That's just like going to class and still flunking. Coach Casey used to tell us down in Athens all the time, we lifting weights. He'd say, hey, you need to shut up and start working. He said, I can put a dead man in here and they do what you do. That's how it is in church with some of your souls. You can put a dead man next to you and y'all running neck and neck. Now watch this. Saul seemingly had everything he needed to fight Goliath, but he didn't. You have everything you need to move to the next level in your life. You have everything inside of you that you need to be successful. But you're not. And you're not because you continue to battle with your spirit and your flesh. And your flesh is superseding your spirit. So when times become challenging, you succumb to your flesh out of familiarity. Because what you train your body with or feed it the most, that's the thing it wants to eat in times of trouble. That's why when you see people get mad, they start cussing. It's because they haven't overcome the cussing with the evidence of speaking in tongues. I'm quaking now. I'm going somewhere with this. They cuss all the time because cussing is what's in them. And they don't start overcoming and suffocating the cussing or the profanity with the evidence of speaking in tongues. So when you need it, you go to the spiritual box and it's not there. So you go to cussing quick. And then you tell people, don't make me cuss. God understand. God don't understand. You want God to lower his expectations because you're below average. How can we strive for excellence but live below our means? Now, I'm not talking about in the flesh. I'm talking about spiritually, Durante. When we start living above our spiritual means, that's when we start eating the good of the land. Now, I know about the flesh. I get that. I want a new position in the job. What happens if I want a new position in God? We make an excuse about everything when it comes to church. But when they call you to your job for something, I don't care what's going on at the house, you're there. You make the provisions to be there. Your numbers hit. I don't care what you're doing. You ask your supervisor at work, I have an emergency. I need to be gone for about an hour. You're going to do that to go cash that cash 3 in to get your money. But let the church be fasting. And we praying at 12 noon every day. You won't take time out to go to your car, sit in the car and give God his time, but for fear of not eating. Amazing, man, how we try to wear other people's clothes when they don't fit. Be satisfied with where God got you. He tells us we're fearfully and wonderfully made, which means that you are tailor-made. You're tailor-made. Now, your travels and the course in which you go might be a little different, but you're tailor-made. You're built for it. You're built for it. Now, I like David because David said, before I wear your clothes that don't fit me, Shante, he said, I'll take the little bit I have and I'll go on because God been already showing me that little becomes much when you place it in God's hands. And I thank God right now that the little bit that David had, David said, the little bit I have is greater than all that you have because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I'll fight with my bare hands before I use your sword because God is fighting through me. I can appreciate somebody who appreciates just what they have. I appreciate it. Can't stand people who always have to have something else to be great. No, you be great with what you have. That's why people don't have character no more. That's why kids run around banging everybody because they don't have the zeal to fight spiritually and say, I'm not hanging out with y'all. I don't need to be a part of your cluster. I don't need the game. I'm gonna stand over here alone. I'm going to school. I'm going to class. I'm going to trade school. I'm gonna get a job where there's promotion continuously. But we go over there and instead of fighting Goliath, we join Goliath's army. Because all your homegirl sleeping with a married man could stay with them. Now you put. And when I wish I didn't have to say that, but you know it's true. I'll get that one amen. You doing just whatever your homegirls do so you can stay in with them. Yeah, so I want to stay in the clique because I don't want y'all to talk about me. Here I am. Yeah, my shoes ran over, but this is what you get. Look at me. I have to wash my dresses on my hand, hang them up in the hot water, heat them up. This is me. Once I know who I am, I don't have to worry about lying. So many people lie to cover up who they are until they forget who they are. You wear so much fake everything, you don't even know how you look natural. Fake hair, fake eyebrows, fake nails, fake everything fake. Fake breasts, everything. Now they got the body parts that are fake. Girdles fake with extra backside on them. Who are you? Who are you? Won't you just wear what God made you to be? And if he or she don't like that, then he said, kick the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Competition in houses. You mad because your sister got a good job and you working at the farmer's market. You mad because your brother doing well and you out there driving the bus from Marta. That's okay. Be who you are. I love Bill Belichick because no matter how many rings he get, Patricia, he never stopped being who he is. He wear them same pullovers, them same blue pants. It's cold, he's still, that's just Bill. And he steady winning. You can win when you're you. You can win. When you know who you are, you can win. When you start realizing who you are, you can beat your Goliaths. When you realize that everything I need is already in me, he say, I know my thoughts concerning you. Before you were born, they were good and not of evil, but to give us an expected end, which means everything you need is already in you. Don't allow your situation to discourage you. Don't allow people around you to discourage you. Keep fighting. Keep moving. All God wants to do is build your resume. All God. When people don't get promotions, when people stay where they stay where they are because they're not building their resume. Yeah, I'm talking about the spiritual resume this morning. Do I tell you to build your spiritual resume by how you continue to grow from faith to faith to faith to faith. And the more you grow in faith, the more confidence you have. The more watch this here now. The more I've grown in faith, the less I had to lie. I'm trying to grow by myself. The more faith you have, the less you have to fabricate. Because faith allows you to be who you are. The more faith you have, the less you have to what? Go out and make excuse. You ever seen people, as soon as you see them, you go to the house, first thing they do when you come in the house, they make an excuse why the house dirty. As soon as you get in the house, here, excuse this house, girl, they got you. Baby, get your daddy boxes up, put them down there in the dirty clothes. Dude, say, the dishes ain't white, we just looking like you. You don't want to be successful. You don't want to be successful. Because I believe in this now. The way your house is the way your heart is. If you got a very clean house, you're going to probably have a pretty good heart. If your house always trashy, junky, can't never quite come together, that's how your heart is. So when you want to be like God, it's hard to because you got too much clutter in there. And you can't connect this thing together. You try, but you still sweeping stuff up under the rug. You just throwing stuff in the closet and you ain't doing the cleaning. That's just how your heart is. You can't fight Goliath like that. There's no way. There's no way. This is a very backwards situation. But it just might be the backward situation that you need to fight your Goliaths. It's backwards because David shouldn't be fighting Goliath. David shouldn't even been out there on the battlefield. He should have served his brothers and got off. David didn't even have battle equipment. It's a very backwards situation. Saul had everything he needed and wouldn't fight Goliath. David didn't have nothing. Yet he was ready to fight Goliath. Backward situation. It just seems like this don't go together. This really don't fit. But welcome to part 4 of Goliath Must Fall. Welcome to part 4 that Goliath must fall. It may seem odd to think of comfort as a giant. We work so hard to become comfortable, and the thing we work so hard for becomes our Goliath. Because once you become comfortable, you stop working. You work so hard to get this job, and then you become complacent on your job. Your job becomes your Goliath. So when people even prophesy, say, you're going to get a promotion. No, you better embrace it. Amen. Because it's bigger than you. It ain't because of your skill set, it's because of your spirit. God needs you to elevate even more so that the people can be what? Influenced. Because influence is power. Influence is power. People get married off of influence. People ain't married because of love no more. You can't even define love. It's whoever influences you. If you think he got something, you think she got something, you're going to marry her. You married more now off of influence. Back in the day, they married off of love. The wife stayed home. They had 8 kids. Mama stayed home and washed all the clothes, made sure everything was fine. She made a lot out of Nathan David style. But they stayed married to death, married 40, 50 years. Now you got people, both of them got 6-digit incomes coming in. But off of influence, they don't have no glue to stick. So the first Goliath come, it's a miniature Goliath. It's a baby Goliath. It ain't even a big Goliath. Now they separate. Because they don't have the same thing. Comfort zones. Comfort zones. It's amazing, comfort zones. I like how Ray Lewis said it. Ray Lewis said, before anything great is really achieved, your comfort zone must be disrupted. Ray Lewis said, before anything great is really achieved, your comfort zone must be disrupted. The children of Israel, the Israelites didn't like what Goliath was doing. He was disrupting their comfort zone, not because he was a bully, but so they can see where their faith level was. Anytime your comfort zone is disrupted, it's so God can stretch you. When was the last time you've been stretched in your faith? Last time you've been stretched in your faith? If you haven't been stretched in your faith lately, it's because your comfort zone hasn't been disrupted. Do one thing every day that scares you. And I'm quoting Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt says, do one thing every day that scares you. If you're not doing something every day that scares you, then you're relying on your comfort zone. And if you're in your comfort zone, you'll never grow. You'll never grow. You know, people, when they've been divorced and they had a husband and a wife, next thing they say, I don't want another husband. You know what, I can't be. Y'all too sedated for me today. I know this hurt, but it's the truth. You watch people who, they get in the comfort zone because they say, if I don't marry, I don't have to worry about potentially being hurt. I've been hurt twice before. I know I'm preaching this thing good, but they ain't responding today, but it's okay. I know that when you've been married, people don't get married again because they've got in the comfort zone where they don't have to answer to nobody. They don't have to worry about cooking. He don't have to worry about bringing the money home. They don't have to answer to nobody. And once they get 70, they lonely. Because the 2 women you used to hang with from school, they dead and gone. Now you're by yourself. And all this takes place because we are afraid to do something scary every day. You should go home today and write down what I'm gonna do 5 scary things Monday through Friday, one thing each day that's gonna make me better. Now it's gonna challenge me, but I'm gonna write it down and make it plain. This is what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm calling this creditor Monday. I'm applying for this on Tuesday. I'm setting up a payment plan on Wednesday for this. I'm telling him you gotta get your stuff and go. And by the way, on Friday it's gonna be hard, so when he leaves, I'm gonna get my keys. And it ain't that, truth be told, you ain't married, you've been shacking with him. It ain't got nothing to even do with him. It has everything to do with helping you with your bills. So your kids can call somebody daddy who won't even marry you. Do something scary every day. Coming out of your comfort zone is tough in the beginning, chaotic in the middle, and awesome in the end. How many know that to be true? Clap your hands. When you come out your comfort zone, it's always tough in the beginning. It's tough stepping out on faith. It's tough in the beginning. And once you get in the middle, you can always have one of these moments. What did I get myself into? I need to quit. Because it becomes chaotic. And things will happen that will almost break you. So that's a good time right there to give God praise. Because I'm praising God that it almost broke me, but it didn't break me. Yeah, what didn't break me made me stronger. But at the time that it was trying to break you, it was hard. Yeah, so coming out of your comfort zone is tough in the beginning, chaotic in the middle, and awesome at the end. When was the last time you put yourself in a situation that was uncomfortable and you came through it? You had a situation, you might have had a diagnosis by the doctor. Something happened on your job. You started your own business. Whatever it may be, it was something that was tough in the beginning, was chaotic in the middle, but awesome in the end. Sounds like my marriage. It was tough in the beginning because I was scared of it. I wasn't scared of my wife, I was scared of rejection. A lot of times when a man don't talk to a woman, it's not that she's a Goliath. The fear of rejection is his Goliath. So he'll kind of show her, stand around. Now let Donna be good friends with her. Now Donna becomes my best friend. Not my best friend, but really my best, I need what you got. Can you tell her I like her? Because fear of rejection can be a Goliath. Fear of rejection can be a Goliath. You always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You don't take those shots because you're afraid, you're fearful, and you're in a comfort zone. So if I don't take the shot, I'm guaranteed to what? Miss. I appreciate somebody who shoot it and miss but keep trying versus somebody who never shoot it. And then they start complaining because they're on the bench. No, there's no way. No way. You always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I'm quoting Wayne Gretzky, one of the best hockey players of all time. I don't cheat with my quotes. I don't get up here preaching lie and act like I'm smarter than I am. I'll tell you who wrote it. They deserve the credit. That's a Wayne Gretzky. And the last one would be, we cannot become what we want to be by remaining what we are. Just go ahead and put that down. Take a picture of it with your selfies right quick. We got to get this. I can't afford to be churchy today. I'm trying to learn today. We cannot become what we want to be by remaining what we are. A lot of people are still where they are because that's what they choose to be. Deacon Dixon, they don't want no better. They don't want no better. They won't apply for the positions on the job. They won't get on their knees and try God through prayer. They won't start putting God first in their lives. They won't read their word in the morning. They won't do any of that. So they remain where they are. But you cannot become what you want to be by remaining what you are. I can't lose weight by continuing to be who William has been. I can't keep eating Oreo blizzards every Sunday, and one time during the week, if I can catch Sarah or somebody going to the Dairy Queen. Let me know who's laughing, baby. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And then God, let me show you how that devil comes in, and the first thing I get for my birthday, Mother Ann's not the devil. She's a great woman of God. But the first thing I got for my birthday, which thank everybody again, amen, was a gift card from Dairy Queen. I said, the devil don't want me to get rid of this gut. So what I did, I altered it because she sold into me. And I said, God, after this card here, every now and then you're going to get beat by a giant. I got hit by Goliath, but I got back up. I had a 1 cent. They went to the store the other day, Daddy, you want a blizzard? No, I'm good, baby. They asked twice because they thought I was delusional. Daddy, you sure you don't want a blizzard? I'm good, baby. Go on now. You cannot become what you want to be by remaining what you are. It's just evident. Like I said earlier, it seems odd to think of comfort as a giant. But comfort is something that can taunt you. It can haunt you. It's tough because it can hurt you as you go through life, and you never realize it. It never gives you smoke signals. You never feel pain from comfort, but yet it hinders you. So when it's time to move forward, we've been comfortable so long, our spirit man is out of shape. Because you really started lacking on your prayers because you did get a better job and it helped you pay all your bills so you don't have to worry as much. And most of us only pray a lot when we worry. And you say, now because I ain't stressing as much, I got the promotion or I got anywhere I wanted to get in, or I finally got me some furniture, I don't have to pray as much. I went to the doctor now, and the doctor said they thought they saw something. You praying all day long. Yet now you're telling people to pray with you. Try to pray with me. The doctor think they saw something. You praying over what the doctor thought he saw. As soon as they call you back and say it was nothing, you put prayer down and go back to your comfort zone. You're not waking up at 5:30 with your girlfriends anymore praying, because now you're in a what? Comfort zone. You watch people in marriages. When all hell breaking loose in houses and marriages, they go and pray every day. Whichever one I wanted the most, they get the other one up. Hey, we need to pray, baby. As soon as everything's good again, hopefully you sleep at 8 o'clock. Because if not careful, your comfort zone will be like an undertow. Jesus. How undertow, you swimming and don't even realize the current is taking you further out into the water. So you have to continue to swim against the current to get to your place of satisfaction. You have to swim against the current to continue to get to your purpose. You cannot just swim and just backpedal and all. The current will take you further out. It don't feel like it, but it's effective. All right. And once you see how far out you are, you panic. You panic because the first thing we do is look at distance. We all desire to provide a safe environment for our family. I get this. We like to kick back when we get home in the evening and enjoy Family Feud. I understand it. Although they reruns, you still watch it. But trouble comes from the desire for safety and security. Because a lot of times those become your dominant goal. Those become your goals. Safety and security. All you think about right now is, with all this shooting going on, is getting a gun. Because you want to make sure your family is safe and secure in the flesh. But what are you doing for them spiritually? What are you doing for them spiritually? All you want to do is show your son how you can. This a 9. This how you deal with a 9. This how you clean the 9. This a 40. This how you deal with the 40. This how you clean the 40. And you never once show them how to pray. There come a time, so you can't take a gun into a place that you're doing a presentation and somebody out there just getting back with you verbally. You can't take a gun in there and shoot up the place. You can't take a gun in there and shoot up the spouse when things aren't going well. You can't go and shoot yourself because you got disappointed. You have to learn spiritual ammunition. We have to learn how to really pray, how to get on our knees and supplicate ourselves. How many of you fast with your children? We got to learn that there's a lot of ammunition. Quit whining so much and start praying and fasting more, and watch how God starts to answer your prayer. All we want to do is, wow, woe is me. And the person you're talking to be like, that's all you got. That's your cross to bear. Here. Now come over here and step up under, because I can't get too heavy to bear. Come stand up. Now hold that cross. Hold that cross there. That's Goliath there. That's real Goliath there. In the story of David and Goliath, we see how the desire of comfort has stymied the nation of Israel. In other words, it has hampered and hindered the nation of Israel. The Israelites issued, now this is what gets me, because this is church 101. The Israelites issued their battle cry every day. When you read back in the text, read that whole chapter 17, you'll see that the Israelites went out every morning and did their battle cry. Repetition. Some of you pray and pray the same prayer every day. And that prayer has no more power because it has become repetitious. You're not going out there fighting the enemy to start to be forced to read more scriptures to bring more of an arsenal to your prayer life. So you're praying the same prayer. They went out every day and they had the same battle cry every day because it was routine for the Israelites. Listen, church, get out of your routine. A routine will suffocate you. Get into something. Always be moving forward. Always be pushing yourself. Always be working on change. Always find a new way to be effective. Because when you do those things there, now you're equipping yourself to fight larger Goliaths. Some of you 70, 60 years old still fighting midget Goliaths. And you're fighting those small Goliaths because your faith man hasn't grown. And God say, I want you in the fight. I don't want you to get slaughtered. So he leave them now fighting a midget when they should be fighting a brigade. Man, now they got suited up every day after they did the cry and went to the front battle line. Everyday routine. Now here's the saddest part of this is, and every day they had God on their side. They did the battle cry, they got dressed, went to the front line, and they went to the front line with God. But they didn't use God. You carry God with you every day. How much do you use God? You allow your situation to keep you stuck. A situation was never designed to keep you stuck. A situation was designed to help you grow. No, so the situation can't stick me. Because a situation is never mud. A situation is opportunity. So I should look at this as an opportunity. I don't know why I'm going through this right now. I don't know what's going on. But I know what's one thing. I'm coming out. I don't know how. I'm tired right now. I ran out of answers. But I know one thing. I'm coming out. I don't care what they say. Breakthrough is among me. Overcoming is here. My breakthrough is on the way. My breakthrough is on the way. You don't see it because you can't see out of my glasses. Quit hanging with people who are looking through rose-colored glasses. I need to see battle scars. Yeah, I need some warriors. Not by just title. Because the book of this chapter 17 tells us about people who have the title of warrior but refuse to fight. Now they're doing all this, getting dressed every day, doing the cry call, God's going with them, and the same thing takes place. Goliath still taunts them every day. Yes. Oh, I know. I'm with you, D, because this thing's so good, it's blessing me. So it's not a shouting message, it's an message. Because they did all the same things every day. The routine of crying out, we're the Israelites. As they march to the front line, we're the Israelites. And they dress, we're the Israelites. And God right there with them saying, yes, Israelites, yes, let's go. Let's get down in the valley. But they never went in the valley. They would stay on the edge and say who they were, but they would never go in the valley and be who they was. That's the same thing in church. That's the same thing with your relationship with God. When do you get to the point to where you get out of routine and go have a valley experience? When you get to the point you say, today I'm going down in the valley. And you tell the family, I don't know how I'm going to look when I come up, but I'm going down. I don't even know if I'm coming back, but know that I went down. I'd much rather have a daddy who died fighting than a dad who was staying around because he was weak and a punk. Can't do whips, Elder Bentley, can't do whips. I'd rather us get beat up than to run. Because when you start really fighting in the flesh or spiritually. When cats see you ain't gonna run, most of those cats will. I always look for the one who's quiet. The one who's trying to talk you out of fighting. Goliath thought he could beat everybody through talking, and he had almost defeated not only the Israelites, but their king Saul, who was a great warrior, until a young boy came through. Got him out their comfort zone. And you can tell he got him out of the comfort zone because when he started asking guys, he asked his brother, shut up, man, where you? Go home. I ain't got time for you. Who is this? Who gonna deal with this giant? That's what he asked him. Now, 12-year-old, who gonna deal with this Philistine? How can somebody so young be so brave? His experience. Let me tell y'all something. Quit letting people tell you wisdom comes with age. You got to prove it to me. Wisdom comes with experience. The more experience I have, the more wisdom I have. So what I'm going through is going to make me stronger. You can't tell me what I've been through and what I've learned, what I've gained. You can't take that from me. You can never take an experience from a person. Jesus. They might forget a quote, they forget a scripture, but they'll never forget an experience. Experiences brings about wisdom. So thank God for your experience. Thank God for what you've been through. Thank God for what you're going through. Or thank God for what you're coming out of. Because there's wisdom in fighting those giants that you just fought. It's amazing here now. I'm telling you that this thing here, Goliath came out every morning and just tongued and talked bad to him, a bunch of mutts, mullets. Come on down and fight me. Now, he was saying this on their turf. Goliath was saying this on the Israelites' turf. Dad came to their house and started wreaking havoc. How many of y'all refuse to let somebody come to your house and wreak havoc? Just show of hands. You ain't coming to my, you might say something over there at the churchyard, but you ain't coming up at my house and say it. But why do you let Satan do it? That's the problem. We're always fighting people. But the Bible said that this battle we fight is not carnal. It's spiritual. So why do we want to fight the spirit like we do the flesh? And refuse to let that thing come up in your house and run your house and worry you to death. You can't even enjoy your own house. Ain't nobody in the house but you. And that Goliath, that spirit, and that Goliath conquers you at your own house by yourself. How can that? I'm talking about the people who can't sleep at night. Yes. Those people who can't sleep at night, Brother Edward, because that Goliath got them here. I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. I don't know how it is. If it's too much for you to back, give it to God. I say it all the time. When things get heavy and things get hard, put some Jesus on it. You know, for children, I don't care how bad food tastes, put some ketchup on the children to eat it. Ketchup is the equalizer. Put some ketchup on it. Children to eat it. But the same thing with Christians. I don't care what's going on, put some Jesus on it. It tastes a lot better with Jesus on it. Yeah, because I get out of the comfort zone, I need Jesus for where I'm going because I'm not going back. I don't know who that's for. But there's somebody here today who's saying, I'm not going back. There's something that one of my favorites is that sailboats are safe in harbors. But that's not what sailboats are made for. Sailboats are safe in the harbor. They have wood, they have them tied down where they don't move. They're just right there and they're safe in the harbor. They're just right there, just moving side to side in the harbor. But a sailboat was meant to sail, to get out in the water and embrace the air and the wind. Why are you still in the harbor? Why are you still in the harbor? Spiritually, why are you still in the harbor? Why you won't come up and cut up doing praise and worship and shame the devil right here? Why are you still in the harbor? Why you still refuse to speak to people? Why you still in the harbor? Until my family members ain't spoken in years. Why are you still in the harbor? Your dad been gone 30 years, let him go. Get out the harbor. He is who he is. If he came by the chance of great, he ain't gonna have an epiphany and come by. Keep moving. Why are you still in the harbor? Quit letting circumstances keep you tied down in your heart. Yeah, every time you go to the, oh Lord, this thing got me, I just can't. Get out the harbor. Get out your comfort zone. You got to get out that way. Playing it safe is the riskiest choice we can make in life. Playing it safe is the riskiest choice we could ever make. This is your pastor. You got 5 minutes. This is the pastor. Yeah, take a picture, Don. I'm with you. Y'all, you and Dietrich, you just us three. The rest of these jokers in there, I tell you what, a bunch of harbor boats. Playing it safe is the riskiest choice we could ever make. I was trying to do it through education. That's why we hadn't moved from the school. I told the story before. This is where it came from. I was playing it safe. I was doing what people taught me in school. Educated with multiple degrees and stuck in a school. Because I was playing it safe. I had to start embracing what it means to become acquainted with risk. And after I started becoming acquainted with risk, I started understanding that risk really is faith. So now I have to start understanding what it means not to play safe, but become acquainted with faith. The more I become acquainted with faith, the greater things I can do. It's already in you. You just have to open up that Pandora's box and woo yourself with the greatness that's in you. It's already in you. Kendra, it's already in you. It's already. You just have to open up. But you will never see what's in you if you play it safe. That's the riskiest choice you could ever make. It was on when we came and moved here. I was like, we can't really afford that. With what we, and everybody who's been in the finance room will tell you, we weren't bringing no money in that school. We ain't missed a note. On time too. Get ready for next month, right? Okay, we keep that. It's amazing what God would do when you stop playing it so safe. And listen, all you educators and educated people, I'm with you. I know what it's like. Because we've been taught, put it down, write it down, make it plain. But after you make it plain, that's when the faith come in. And say, I made it plain so I know where I am, God. And you wanted me to see where I am, so when you bless me, I know what you brought me through. So I understand now that when they say write the vision, make it plain, I'm writing this stuff and calculating it so I see where I am. So when God honor me and give it to me, I know when somebody help me say, but God. You ought to look at somebody and say, but God, baby. Oh, but God, but God, but God, but God. Oh my God, ain't easy anything but safe. Oh, but God. Playing it safe is the riskiest choice we could ever make. Last one, and we're done. We'll catch this. We'll finish next week with this. Playing it safe and taking no risk is a shortcut to poverty. Somebody got to write this down. Take a picture, do something with it, send it out to your kinfolk. But you got to get this. You can't keep this to yourself. You can't keep this to yourself now. Playing it safe and taking no risk is a shortcut to poverty. Why do you think God sent Moses back to Egypt with just a staff? Why he didn't send him with an army? He sent him with just a staff so he could show him you ain't got to play it safe when you got me with you. You ain't got that. And the way you left the first time where they went and said, well, never let his name be spoken again. Stricken his name from everything. God said, that's okay. I'm a substitute. So God said, I had them to stricken your name. So now what they started saying is not Moses, but who is his God? I need more readers in the church. I need more readers in the church on this. They went from saying Moses when he went back the second time is, who is your God? They asked the same question, but they just used it in different formality, like they were, who is your God? And then when he put the staff down and killed the two snakes from the other wizards, they came back and asked the same question in a different manner. Who is your God? That's what we want with Goliath. You want your Goliath in your life to say, who is your God? Yeah, I know we had you. I thought we had you down, broke, busted, and disgusted. But how do you keep having joy? Who is your God? How do you keep applying for stuff when your credit jacked up and you find a way to get it? Who is your God? Who is sick, but you keep saying you well and you healed, delivered, and set free? Who is your God? Who is your God when you go around and everybody's saying no, but you keep knocking on doors knowing that one person gonna say yes? Somebody ask, who is your God? Who kept you in your marriage? No, who is your God? Because you and your spouse probably look and say, who is our God? I sure tried to leave you. And this person say, honey, I've been gone, but we still together. Who is your God? Who is your God? Who is your God? You never know your God until you go and fight. You'll never truly know him. You will know of him, but you'll never have a true relationship with him. Because you go away from the scripture, these works and greater works shall you do in my name. Goliath must fall. We're going to conclude it next week with comfort. I want to show you a couple of things really personally with comfort that you'll look at and be like, I didn't know comfort could be so detrimental. I'm the first. For every second I lose on earth, I can never retract that second. So every second I waste, I do a disservice to the kingdom because I can never get it back. So I can't waste time creating enemies. I can't waste time becoming acquaintances with doubt. I can't waste not another second subjecting myself to fear. My Goliaths must fall. They must fall because everything that's attached to me is waiting to be blessed. They won't be blessed until I do what I need to do. Your household could be a lot better than what it is when you start calling out your Goliaths. And the way you do that is by getting out your comfort zone. Quit playing it safe. Try God. There's an old song that says, have you tried my Jesus? The mothers will come back and answer the same question they ask and say, he's all right. Here's the thing is with young people. Young people have become so educated and you have to show them everything until they miss out on the most important factor of a relationship with God, which is faith. I call those things which be not as though they were. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. When we get to the point that we don't have to see it to believe it, Patricia, we're growing. Because God hadn't did it, don't mean he won't do it. He's preparing you for it.
We are so glad you're here. Remember, let's continue to honor God through our commitment to give. There are 4 ways to give. The first being Cash App at $Champions for Christ. Next, you may also give online at the Champions for Christ website at www.championsforchrist.org. You may also text Overflow to 888-364-4483. Lastly, you may give on our mobile app available in the Apple and Google Play Store. Let's continue to encourage everyone to tune in next week. Remember, this is still the year of no distractions. We are champions because we are champions for Christ.